A few weeks ago, WPP's decision to bring together VML Wayanar and Wonderman Thompson raised many questions about the effectiveness of mergers. But right here in this room, I have a glowing example of a very successful merger carried out years ago. And joining me is the global CEO of Wavemaker, that very agency, Toby. Thank you for joining us, Toby.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So tell me, what is the secret ingredient of a great merger? And today, when you look back, would you say you've achieved much more as Wavemaker than a MSC or a Maxis would have?
That's a very, very good question. Look, I think the first thing is I joined post-merger.
Right.
So actually a lot of the challenging elements of putting a merger together had already been done. I think what I then had the opportunity to do with some amazing people in the organisation was to really just say, when we were developing Wavemaker, or the new Wavemaker as we called it, what are the things we want to keep, what are the things we want to throw away, and what are the decisions we need to make today, and what are the decisions we can keep down the path. And I think we made a lot of tough decisions straight away. So we reduced the leadership team from 23 down to 12. We decided to build a very clear narrative around this idea of positive provocation.
Right.
We built a modular approach to how we plan rather than sequential, which many clients and agencies adhere to. And I think as we went into a pandemic, being able to dip into different parts of that modularity really benefited our clients. And just generally an attitude of empowering our people to have a point of view on our clients' business rather than just take orders and book media. That's what I really wanted. That was the genesis behind the idea of positive provocation. So I think make the tough decisions on the big issues and build a great team and have a very clear proposition of what you want to stand for. And I think those three things have stood us in really good stead.
And another thing is, I think WPP has suffered a surprise Q3 decline. And Mark Reed spoke about how Group M has suffered largely because the technology clients have had cautious spending. How has Wavemaker fared in this particular quarter?
Well, I look at it across the full year. So across the full year, I think Group M will grow significantly. We have a number of large tech businesses, but we'll still see significant growth on a very, very large business. We represent 1 in 3 ads around the world, dollars invested. So any kind of growth that you see on that scale is many, many millions of dollars. And Wavemaker is a cornerstone and underpinning that along with our sister agencies as well. So we'll see good growth this year.
Is there a rough estimate? Because I think you've also topped the conversions ranking for new business wins globally and also in India, which is great.
Well, we've got 6 weeks to go. We're currently $240 million ahead of number 2. So I've got my fingers and toes crossed that we'll finish the year number 1, and that will obviously more impact next year actually as a springboard for growth rather than this year. But this year looks good for us.
But what are the new areas, new avenues for growth for Wavemaker globally and also specifically India?
Well, I think some of the areas we've discussed with Ajay and the team are, forever and a day we've been optimizing media, we've been optimizing audiences, and we've been optimizing platforms. I think we have a role to play in how we optimize content on those platforms now. And I think we've built some good resource and capabilities with George coming in from Ogilvy to help us in that area. I think we have a real role to play there. I think we've got an opportunity around performance and commerce and influencer marketing. I think those would certainly be an area that I'd like to see us build out. We're coming from a very strong base in India. I would say India is certainly one of our best performing markets in the world, and so anything we do is off a high base. But I think that idea of social commerce and influencer marketing coming together should really see us power some clients' performance and growth in sales.
And just one last question. I think last year you spoke to us at Impact and you said very nice three things, very interesting three things. You said APAC can lead to double-digit growth for Wavemaker. That's one. Second, you said India can lead that growth in APAC for Wavemaker. And third, like something like you just mentioned, you said India has the potential to become the biggest growth market for Wavemaker globally. In the past 1 year, how much of that has happened?
Oh dear, I'm being quoted. 2 out of 3, I would say, I got right a year later. So India absolutely leading growth around the world. I'm sure there are some smaller markets with higher growth, but of our top 10 markets, India absolutely is growing at the highest percentage, so fantastic. APAC has, I would say, come back in the back 6 months of this year, and India in particular has powered a lot of that, so I'm thrilled by that. I think India will become a top 3 market either this year or next year. We'll see how the numbers pan out for the next couple of weeks, but then next year absolutely I see it being top 3, the growth that we're expecting in the business. So yeah, I mean, I think my predictions were worryingly accurate for once.
Yeah, I'm just tempted to ask you one more question. Now, Wavemaker has always placed innovation at the heart of what you do. And I was going through the Cannes wins and I realized that the Mondelez Shah Rukh Khan win got you a titanium in 2022, the only titanium that Wavemaker had won that year. And then again last year in 2023, you won a creative effectiveness Grand Prix that was also Wavemaker's only Grand Prix. So I want to understand from you, where would you place India? I mean, when you compare it to the other markets at media, when it comes to media creativity, where would it rank?
I think right up there. I mean, I think India is probably our most creative market. I think the market as a whole does 2 things very well. I think it does humour very well, and I think it does purpose very well. And I think humour and purpose are 2 things that land very well in Cannes.
Okay.
So I think from a media creativity perspective, having those 2 components infused into the work that you do really leads the charge. So India, I would say, is probably our most creative market globally.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.